Welcome back to the Quake Pro League, where we got the best chicken salad in the world. I am 40 Lions, joined by ZSX and Wheat, and we are about to get into our last featured match of the day, and it's going to be Sirius versus ZenAku.
Yep.
I am unmuted as well, so I can talk now. I'm looking forward to this one a lot. Like, Sirius, in my opinion, is probably the most improved player in the QPL, going up against the former most improved player in the QPL in ZenAku. I think Sirius has surpassed at least my expectations, but pretty much everyone's expectations. He's been able to take his mechanical skill and combine it with a much stronger mental fortitude and more rounded game plan. So he's done everything we knew he needed to do, and he's done it fairly quickly as well.
Yeah, and I think with like some of those wins and successes, that's got to be good for just building up more confidence to say, yep, I should just keep doing what I'm doing. I think he's a really entertaining player to watch. He's entertaining in chat, right? Like he's in it. He's a full QPL participant at this point. But I love what you said, Dan, in terms of like most improved players, right? Because this is kind of an ongoing storyline that we've heard in QPL time and time again. Like, yeah, we've got our legends that have been in Quake for years and years and years, and kind of, you know, it actually Sirius sort of fits in that mold. But when you talk about who is improved, I would put these two, you know, together and say, let's battle out, see who is the best of the most new, improved, and QPL, you know, whatever that comparison is.
I think the interesting thing is that he's now entering a period of the QPL, kind of the reverse of Chain, where he's played everyone that is beatable for him, and now he's entering a period where he's playing pretty much the top 6 back to back to back, and this is going to be the maker of where he stands in the QPL. If he can come out of this sitting where he is now, like, that's super impressive, right? But he does have ZenAku, Venga, Rafa, Razy, Kilson all coming up, so it's going to be a real big test for the next few weeks.
Yep, the monster of memes and mechanics going up against ZenAku again, who's had a pretty good season, I think, all in all. Some upsets, some ebb and flows. He's got kind of a new approach to the game and maybe to life in general, which is helping him. And, you know, it never hurts to reassess your position to the game and kind of your approach to the game in terms of practice, how much you're practicing, quality of practice, all of that comes up big. And ZenAku looking to add more wins to this season as we take a look. Not too shabby. I mean, the loss against Nosfa may have been a surprise. Loss against Razy, teammate, little bit brutal, but all in all, pretty good season for Zen.
I think dropping maps consistently is going to be a worry for him, particularly when you're looking at QuakeCon in a tournament setting. You know, all it takes is for one of those 1-1 settings to go the wrong way, and it's not a 2-1 in your favor, and you're down in the lower bracket. So that can happen in a tournament. But obviously, the only player this season to beat Rafa. What can you say to that? You know, so
Yeah, I mean, in some regions of the world, people would say that's an automatic win for ZenAku, right? On the other hand, if you look at all of the losses, I would agree with you. I think that Nosfa losing Nosfa 1-2, right? Clearly not his best performance, but I think ZenAku's had more of a mix of, right, the talent that exists in QPL. So he's sort of past that point of, you know, I can come up against the best of them. Whereas like Sirius, this is his match to show and hopefully take that momentum into the later weeks here of the season of QPL.
Let's take a look at the pick bans and see exactly what we have in store for us for the last game of the day. Deep Embrace, Molten Falls, Corrupted Keep. It's going to be Ranger versus Strog on Deep Embrace. A little bit of Slash versus Anarchy on Molten Falls. And then Galena versus Eisen on Corrupted Keep for the last map of the day. Gentlemen, how do you feel? Wheat, we'll start with you.
Well, first off, I'm, you know, big fan of Deep Embrace, and especially I think with these two champions make for an interesting dynamic. On Molten Falls side, not surprised to see that with the Nyx ban as well. And I think it's the last game that's kind of the most interesting to me in terms of how the Galena stacks up versus the Eisen with the BJ band there. I could see that being a sort of a rail heavy long distance game, but you know, anything can go, especially with two players like what we've got here. So looking forward to kind of the explosiveness of these first two games potentially, and then you know, what we'll see in Corrupted Keep.
Yeah, the main one I'm looking at is that map 2, actually, and that the Slash versus the Anarchy. Obviously, Sirius picks up Molten Falls. Generally don't think we've seen him play an awful lot of Slash this stage. And from his play style, he generally, in my perception anyway, likes to play slightly slower, more positional, heavily based obviously around his rail and then following up with the LG. But he was almost forced into picking the Slash to go with the tempo that ZenAku might want to set. So interesting to see if that was strategical or how he adjusted that one. But I agree. Otherwise, it's fairly standard picks across the board, and Deep Embrace Corrupt to Keep should be really fun.
Well, we're going to get right into it. I'm going to go hang out with my cat on the couch and watch this. You guys, the adults, can handle this, and I'm going to take a break because I deserve it.
Excellent.
Bye.
Thanks, 40. Enjoy that break. Yep. Notice how 40 left without any predictions? So we're going to do things a little different. You cannot predict Dan based off of skill. You can only predict based off of which skin you think is better than the other.
Oh, all right. I'm liking it.
So for game one, I'm going to have to go serious on this one.
Yeah, Ranger. Yeah. I mean, it's a no-brainer. We have Santa Quake World Ranger against, which I think is default skin with a bow tie ZenAku.
Yeah.
It's not
I mean, the bow tie is classy. I can appreciate that, right?
Yeah.
But a bit more limited on when that attire is appropriate. Low poly Ranger. I'm with it. But the Santa hat, you could show up anywhere with the Santa hat and people would be happy. So I feel like
beard as well, man.
And we've got the matching gun with the Santa hat. So I'm gonna have to say that game one is gonna go to Sirius, and we don't know what skins they're gonna use for game 2 and 3, so we can't predict that far.
We have to go game by game. We have to keep it real time. I don't think the bow tie goes with the wings of Strog. The whatever they're called.
You think he'd look better in a tux, is what you're saying?
I mean, if you're gonna get the bow tie, you gotta get the ensemble.
Yeah, otherwise... I mean, I think Strog should be like Reservoir style suit, right? Like just a white shirt, thin black tie. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is our second featured match. We're going on to Deep Embrace, and I really am hoping for a nice, chaotic game here. And we'll find out here. So which skin will win? Will it be Sirius or will it be ZenAku?
That's like the reverse statement of any referee. I want you to go out there and kick the shit out of each other.
This is true. Let's go.
Opening with a nice rail. Well, whilst we didn't talk about predictions, what I will say is I do think that ZenAku poses a very different challenge to Sirius. I see ZenAku as somebody who is just almost unparalleled at adapting his own game to the way his opponents play. So he just won't allow Sirius to play the heavy aim-based style he wants to. And it's going to be interesting to see how Sirius begins to adapt to these players up in the top end of the leaderboard who are just more adept at imposing themselves.
Yeah. I mean, and it's hard to create a game plan for that, right? You just kind of have to rely on your own instincts in game, and I think be able to adjust your game. Wow, 2 great rails right off the bat here from Sirius, and it's not going to put him in a position to easily capture a frag, but suddenly it's going to make this next round of majors pretty important. Sirius is still hanging out over on the heavy side. Ooh, looked away for just a moment. Might have had a nice shot lined up, but that means Zen is going to grab that mega. But look at how slow and steady this Deep Embrace game has been thus far.
Oh, nice. And a lovely follow-up as well.
What?
Just plays like a turret, just standing there, using those audio cues.
That is, that's just can't feel good. And there's going to be frag number 2 in the first minute 45. As, I mean, look, if you need to start figuring out a better way to think about predictions, just look at which skin looks cool. There you go. Already being proven out here in the first 2 minutes.
Oh, lovely burst damage there. Zen will go down. No, he actually stays alive.
Okay. I'm a little surprised by that, Dan. I thought he got enough rocket damage right off there at the bat, but or at least in a position where it's like I can control this fight. But ZenAku on the board now. Sirius once again just lining up that cursor, letting Zen walk right into it to land the rail, and it's working.
Yeah, a big part of that came down from the damage Zen did in the previous engagement. Messy frag from Sirius, but this is what Sirius does best, which is just get some weapons, get a stack, stand on the mid ground, and out-aim. So I did say Zen should be able to adjust to this, but so far, really struggling. I mean, his opponent is hitting 88% rail. There is a reason why he's struggling, but
yeah,
have to adjust.
Yeah, really interesting as Sirius actually kind of gets Zen out of the heavy room, but then waited a long time to pick it up. Now I do think that ZenAku heard that one. It's a nice tribal coming out of that teleporter. We will see Peeker come out, big rocket to the rail, and 3-1
Nice.
rail off the spawn as well. 76% rail, 13 fired, 10 of those have hit.
Those he does miss now, you know, when you base your game so heavily on it, those you do miss can come back to haunt you. Gave Zen a free pickup there. Zen slowing the pace down. He's just afraid of Sirius at the moment. Sirius doesn't give you an inch with regards to information. It's so slow on the mid ground that you can't close that gap.
Yeah, and it really limits kind of, you know, your own sort of routes in the game. Wow.
What?
Into the orb. Peeker does come
Lovely
out,
timing.
but another one with the shotgun. 4-1. Beautifully done. Zen should be able to pick this one up, and he does off the spawn with that LG very quickly. 4-2. And as long as Zen can keep up with grabbing those frags and potentially converting them, like, he's still sitting in a good spot.
Nice.
And it goes to show that you can still hit a 70% rail and lose a game. But Sirius might actually be looking at being tied up here. LG is out. The chase is down. Sirius, 31 points of health, but ZenAku turns back around after picking up that health, and we are tied now 4-4.
Yeah, that got too greedy there. You saw the thought process going into it, but when he did get the frag, he shouldn't have carried on chasing, and now he's being baited into these engagements by Zen, who is healthier than Sirius. Sirius continuing to push, think he can get that frag, but the window of opportunity does feel like it's closed its gaps. Zen has the speed to get away and the weaponry to keep Sirius at bay, so he's had to give up that mega, but he's got himself back in the lead.
Well, you know, you can shoot 70% rail all day, but you still got to make those rocket jumps too. So Zen up by 1 frag now after a pretty solid opening there by Sirius. Kind of putting on a clinic with that rail. It's going to be landing another one there. But as you mentioned, that speed is kind of an issue, especially, of course, every time that dire orb is down. So no rocket jump this time. Going to use the jump pad. Let's see if he actually heads on over. Peeker quickly dispatched, but can't get to the heavy in enough time. And I think that could be a big decider. If he could put a little bit more time between that Meg and the heavy, might be able to position a little bit better than how he is right now. He's just pretty much having to wait for Zen to kind of come to him.
Oh, I don't think that all connected. And that gives Zen an easy frag.
Yeah, and neither, you know, the reaction of both those players, I think, was didn't really favor either of them, but ZenAku able to kind of recover from that one. Now up by 2. More rails coming out. There's Peeker. I really like the Peeker usage here by Zen. I think he's I like what he's doing there, but Sirius with another set of rails. Grab another frag. Still down by 1, but there is time.
Oh, no. Yeah, there is time indeed, and it did feel like Zen made that adjustment now. He's able to work out how to get onto the high ground without being caught by Sirius. But as I say, that Sirius bounces him around. Should be an easy cleanup here. Oh, no. Just that end rail could come back so costly.
Yeah. Tie back up,
So
Zen back down. He is within spitting range. Picks up a little bit more health. Oh.
That's a no-scope.
That would be a rough one. 7-6 now. And
76% rail.
that's not too shabby. OG fight here. Lower levels, out of some ammo, but a double rocket will clean him up. And now suddenly we see the tables turned yet again. When your head comes over the top of that column and you see your opponent, you pucker just a little bit.
It sees Zen almost expecting to get railed every
exactly.
corner he peeks around. This is the other side of the coin. When someone like Sirius hits so hard, you're forced into taking more rush shots. So it's harder for you to hit your own shots. It has that knock-on effect to your confidence and how you're aiming. But those type of pushes from Sirius, that overzealousness is almost that inexperience again coming in, giving an easy frag for Zen and allows Zen back into the game. No way is he going to get a frag here.
Oh.
Come on.
Wow. I mean, the anticipation as he jumped up from that box, that actually opened up some kind of free damage at that point, but there was nowhere for him to go.
That's a huge frag. That's as clean as you can get. Now Zen is extremely healthy, having got that pickup as well. Sirius hasn't got a rail to work with, and now is in a little bit of trouble. Question is, how does he get out of here?
He needs that rail. I think he's just going to feel better with that rail. Playing a little ring around the rosy, and that is going to be the opportunity. Actually decides to go for that heavy. Peeker comes out, orb as well. Rockets do not connect though, and Zen with a great choice with the LG there to tie it back up. 1 minute warning, and we're tied 99. This is how I like it.
How afraid Zen was of Sirius's aim right there. Just didn't want anything to do with an LG fight. Happy having tied it up, wants to play the long, but
oh my god! Oh, that little ledge. That map designer's like, I saved your ass. Oh, and Peeker's gonna come out, doing some damage, rail down. Both players very, very close on stacks. Oh, but this time, Zen hits the rail, up the jump pad with that shotgun, and that could be it. Sirius has to make a move in 12 seconds. He's not in a great place to do it. His opponent's gonna pick up that heavy, tries to orb right on top of him.
Oh
my
way.
god! Oh my god! He was so close. Bow tie won, man.
I was gonna say, Ranger deserved it, man. Don't know what to say. Stolen.
9 to 10. Those last few moments, if you were to snapshot 30 seconds where you think the game could have drastically gone the other way, right, in Sirius's favor, where do you think that moment was?
I mean, it was the biggest turning point was that clean frag off the spawn from Zen when he got a clean frag with a shotgun into the mega swoop, because then Sirius spawned upper and just delayed for 30 seconds, which allowed Zen to get all the weapons, reposition, and lock down the map, where Sirius should at that point try to retreat at least onto the rail to give himself a fighting chance. He just he didn't know what to do at that point. But otherwise, the big thing for me was, again, I think mainly inexperience from Sirius in some situations. He gave away some easy frags, but more importantly, he just gave up too much free damage, particularly when he was closing some of these frags out. And those small ins turn into big deficits against the best players.
Yeah. There are a few moments, too. I just feel like ZenAku had remarkable weapon selection, made good decisions on... right, the LG kind of came in clutch for him several times as a result. So 9-10, close game, took us all the way down to the final seconds as that machine gun was trying to chew away at ZenAku, but he takes game number 1, and now we are moving on to the Molten Falls.
Molten Falls, the slash against the Anarchy, and then this one, I imagine is going to play out in quite a similar way, which is, Sirius is going to try and get that rail, assert himself in the mid-level, and just engage in those type of fights, the long-range fights, chip away at his opponent. He very rarely loses on these exchanges. So again, the pressure is going to be on how does Zen adjust to that.
Yep. So as we're getting ready to pop in the next game, Sirius is using Slash with bunny ears. in celebration of potentially Easter, or maybe just likes rabbits. And Zen going pretty standard here with this Anarchy.
Default skin again, like vanilla Zen.
Yeah, I mean,
Gotta go bunny ears.
I gotta go bunny ears, right? Yeah.
Oh, I mean, this is Zen's letting the side down here. No creativity.
Maybe that's the distraction. It's like, I just got to change the default skins. Like, this is. So, what's been the biggest improvement for you, Zen, over the last few months? Like, well, I started using default skins, and it's going to change the.
Maybe that's your question if he wins this, right? Why the default Zen?
Yeah, there we go.
That's it.
That's what 40 will ask, because apparently, I think 40 has. I don't know. He always is asking like these simple questions. And so what brand toilet paper do you I'm just like, what? You have these great Quake players. I'm just giving you crap, 40. You've got some good ones too. But all your other ones make me laugh. So keep those up. All right, we're preparing to fight here as we move over to Molten. Sirius looking to try to bring this back, and we wouldn't mind that. I'd love to take it to game 3 for the decider, but ZenAku's looking to stop that one and say, nope, I am the most improved player this season. Let's go.
Absolutely. We all want a game 3, a decider. So bunny ears it is.
Let's see what happens here. Last time, the winning skin was in the lead, but default ultimately won out. So no pickups yet. We're about to have our second round here of our major items, and opportunity to potentially delay those a tad. And Mega is getting delayed. Interesting, as Zen actually sees his opponent, doesn't go for it, but lands the second rail for what I think would be the little bit better of the exchange. Plenty of time to head back over. And additionally, no, he does. Never mind. So 1 minute in and still 0-0.
Here's yeah.
What was you?
Oh, everything froze for about 5 seconds.
Oh, okay. It's like, I don't know. Was it? Was it you? All right, well.
As we expected, Weed, it is a sort of a stalemate with Sirius trying to work his way into this mid ground. But on the other hand, Zen with a good stack, use of the inject, is more confident now in pushing across the map.
Yeah, and I think he's going to need it, but trail is out. Send from the middle level. Wow, Sirius decides to go ahead and fight it out. Eject does come out. Rail misses, and Mega is picked up. And Zen has got to be feeling pretty good about that exchange. That absolutely worked out in his favor, and is in position to grab this heavy.
Sirius has to do serious damage here. With the split between the major items, he has to try and delay Zen.
Oh, wow.
And he's done more than that. He'll even get a frag.
What? I mean, you said he was going to need to do serious damage, and that's exactly what he did. That first rocket kind of set him up to continue to dish it out. And that is a big first frag here for Sirius.
Yeah, unexpected as well, given the control Zen would had. But given the previous engagement, the split between the items, if he had missed out on that and given Zen free pickup, he would have been shut out of this map. So perfect timing for Sirius to take that engagement and pick up that frag.
And it's still, you know, stayed a little slow here even after that first frag, which I'm not too surprised about. Mega picked up by Sirius, and now it looks like he's just going to barrel his way over. Now holding that middle too. Knows exactly where his opponent is and is set up very nice here for the heavy. Ooh. That was unfortunate headbutt to the top of the arch there. But Sirius in a great position stack-wise.
Yeah, tremendous. Zen setting pretty as well, particularly after that rail. He's also got the inject coming off cooldown now, so he's going to fight. Doesn't even need to fight. He's going to take the Mega away for free. But you can see him ready now for these positions of Sirius. In the first couple of minutes of Deep Embrace, he was often getting caught off guard, as they say that. Back turn to the TP. Now he's in a little bit of trouble, forced to pop that inject just ahead of this next heavy pickup, as Sirius decides to retreat, take up in a better position ahead of this next Mega.
Yeah, it's really interesting watching the routes of these two. I think there's been a couple of situations where they misread one another, which is kind of awesome because it's almost a surprise. Like, oh, I thought that they were going to go down. They went up. I thought they were going to be up. They went down. That actually worked out pretty decently for Zen, but a rail from Sirius will equalize things yet again. And I do think that he continues to have the just a little bit better positioning here overall. As he's going to trail up and now put himself in a spot to grab that Mega.
And lest we forget that a single rail as a light champion is absolutely crippling, just because of the limited stack that you have. Unless you have full control, you just can't afford to take that level of damage. And that's why we see this stalemate. So as soon as one has this unreturned damage, they just retreat. They forfeit the item.
And so when trades like that happens, one rail, but the other rails too, still significant for both players, but risky. A missed jump rail there again. Is he going to go in for that Mega? I was kind of thinking about it. Threw out some Tribal, going to try to drop down below. Great rocket, can't follow up with that rail. Sirius hurting just a little bit, no armor stack at all. He's going to pick up a light here. He knows exactly where his opponent is. Like, they're definitely running the routes.
The counter punching from Zen is incredible. Like, each one of those pushes was created by Sirius, but Zen was just ready for it. He was shutting it out before it even happened. And Sirius is really trying to break that deadlock, but Zen on the defense is being phenomenal so far.
Stopwatch.
This is going to be another round of major pickups here for Sirius.
Oh, the double back. Zen knows that once again he's ready for it. Huge rocket coming out the TP, swaps to the OG, but he's railable. Sirius wants to finish this now. He has an item to fall back on as well, but Zen takes the high ground. Sirius with the rail. No, Zen just lives.
That was very, very nice shot, though. And you know what? It wasn't a frag, but I don't think ZenAku can stick around for that Mega. But and yeah, he knows it. Sirius knows. He's got an idea on where he is. Hits with the Tribal, goes to the teleporter.
Oh, come on.
Not enough. And that game gave up that Mega, but I guess that would have been worth it if he would have got the frag. Didn't. I don't know if it was.
Sirius, is he mistimed this? Did he not know? It could come back to hurt. Zen knows exactly when it is. Oh, has to skedaddle. And all this pressure, it looks great and it is great, but all it takes is one overcommittal from Sirius and it's 1-to-1 and he's on the back foot.
You're right. You're right. It's like a dangerous spot to be in, and might have been why he chose not to run. Great rocket. Oh, it's gonna slip in, steal that Mega. A rail from up top. This should be able to finish him off, but no, he can't get an angle on the shotgun blast. So he is going to clean up some health potentially. Nope, just grabs that Mega and is in a good spot. I still don't think he wants to be overly aggressive, but should something not go his way, or if he is caught by surprise, 7 minutes and 28 seconds on the clock. We're just 2.5 minutes away from the end. And you're right, like, it's still a big burden for Sirius to try to hold on to that one frag and just play a perfect game at this point.
Yeah, mentally this is tough. Zen is always present, even though he's on the back foot. Look at him, he's always there, making himself known. Sirius can't switch off for a second. That inject can just turn a fight in a moment if Sirius does overcommit. Inject comes out again, he's expecting a fight over here by the heavy. Sirius is coming for it. Could be deciding.
Oh, switch over to the LG from the top. LG out for ZenAku 2. It's so close. The Tribal, the falling Tribal, beautifully placed, wonderfully done. Follows up off the spawn with the rail, and with less than 2 minutes to go, puts him in a good spot. We are going to have Mega up here just a second, and Zen, I don't think he can fight for it. In fact, he's just going to head on over and try to re-gear. 1.5 minutes remaining, Dan. It was very nicely done by Sirius.
He doesn't need a frag, he just needs to control the map now.
Yep.
Just needs to keep the pressure on, keep spamming. Keep your opponent away, not do movements like that. That was a big mistake. That was a huge mistake.
Oh!
That was overconfidence.
Oh my god,
Why?
no!
Why? Why are you taking that fight, my friend?
I don't know. We're tied though. He's like, well, I'm tied. I could still win the game in overtime. Yeah, I think he could have just backed off there when Anarchy was down
knew,
below.
He knew exactly where Anarchy was going to be. He didn't need to be there. There was no reason.
We may never know. We may never know. Now Zen in a great spot as far as I'm concerned, especially just picking up those 2 frags. You're kind of in your opponent's head. You still got to play smart. He's gonna possibly be able to take full control here. Once again, Sirius knows exactly where he's off. Zen cutting him off. Does need a rocket for that play, but immediately grabs that heavy. Has an inject up. We're gonna have trail in about 5.
Juice it up, baby.
Right from down below. And now it seems like they've switched roles a bit.
Yeah, and it also feels like Sirius has lost his composure. He's lost timing a bit. He just needs to mentally reset and take a breath.
All right, we're in overtime. Next frag wins it. Heavy is up, and Zen is going to grab it. It's going to come down to probably that, you know, that playing your opponent and hitting that rail. First one is going to be from Sirius. Second one from Sirius as well, but he's hurt. Can't really chase on this one.
The problem is when that happens and you don't get a frag, you don't give up the other resources on the map. So Zen is sitting pretty. He's still got that inject, which is the big boon in this light versus light matchup. Basically has an extra pickup to his name. Sirius does steal away the heavy though, so that's really well played to delay that advance from Zen. Now that makes him even on stacks. Big rail coming out.
That's big rail. Super limiting the options here of Sirius coming in. He's going to catch him on the middle. Wow, Sirius lands a rail of his own. Zen picking up that mega. Doesn't find himself in any better position than he started the last 20 seconds. Oh, and now as it goes through, his opponent knows exactly what it is. Zen's going to go down for it. Avoids the rocket from up top. Similar situation to what we saw on the tying frag.
Injects up.
But this time, Sirius gets away.
Yeah, for now, but he's got no major items. He's going to push into the mega. He knows the timing of the rocket comes out from Zen. Big rockets and the shotgun to finish. I mean,
that's going to be a tough one to rewatch, right? I think Sirius is in such a good spot. He was up by 2. He had item control. He had upper middle control. He did hit the one rocket, which I think was sort of his, I hit that perfect rocket, right? And he was in a similar situation that yielded a frag earlier in that same game. So whether it was I did it once, I'm going to do it again situation, but I feel like there were 10 ways that Sirius got out of that situation, but only one way to, and that was like getting the frag, which I'm just not sure why he decided to take that fight.
I have a very famous cooler quote ringing in my ears at the moment.
Yeah, which one?
It's about know when to go aggressive and when not to go aggressive. I believe that was the quote, right? Which he said to Strengths. But it's like, it's exactly this. There's no reason to push in this scenario and just open up yourself to any sort of comeback material. And then this was even worse. The first I can't justify, but you can kind of argue he wants to see the game up. But that second one was mind-blowing.
So the off the spawn frag, I tend to, I think, forgive a little bit for, because that, up top, I think that Sirius thought he did more damage to Zen than he did, and that's like a tough call to make, right? Sometimes that move that he made there, that can win you games.
Yeah, but you're also 2-1 up with a minute to
Well,
go.
I agree. I'm not necessarily. It can win you games. And
You're playing against an Anarchy who has an inject. Maybe you didn't know he popped
you're
it.
right.
You
Fair,
just picked
fair.
up all major items, and then you're fighting into someone who has a light armor and a health to fall back on, and probably picked up a health on the way. And you really didn't do that much damage. Like, I think for me that was almost tilt. Like he as somebody myself who comes from a big aim background, you always trust your aim, and I think he actually believed he was going to win. But that's the downfall, right? It's not really appreciating all of the circumstances and just being a little bit angry, thinking you can win it. He's also a slash with no starting stack. Like,
Yep. Yeah,
I don't
know. Sometimes you spawn by the LG and you're just like, I spawned by the LG.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
gonna do it. Yeah.
Like, no. Well played, Zen. Once again, like you said, I said it. All it takes is one mistake and he can come back. And well played, Zen, for doing what Zen does. He knows how to stay in games and he knows how to win. And he didn't give an inch. Like, he was under so much pressure that whole map. Sirius played well that whole map, and all it takes is one moment, and that's it.
Yep. I mean, we could talk about the skin prediction, but it doesn't matter at this point. Default skin. Well, it's the blue. It's the blue velvet that Zen seems to like. But I still think Sirius could take a game here. Right, both these games were by one. It wouldn't yield him a series win, but it would still be pretty great to take a game from ZenAku.
Yeah, I mean, in context, he could have won both these games. It's like they
sure.
both played very, very well. It's not like Zen had an easy victory so far. So yeah, let's see.
Yep, let's see if we can do it. I don't know. I think probably Zen's he's probably like feeling in a winning mood. So
Yeah, but I'm tilted from just watching Sirius. I don't know how he feels. Okay.
well, first frag goes to Zen with 2 nice rockets and following up with that shoddy. And early on, it happens, but yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. As Zen's gonna pick up that heavy, and it's looking like a man on a mission for sure.
Pretty good start. This is obviously a map as much around these traps and close combat, which is also around the hit scan and the mid-range. Zen is not going to want to commit to any of Owner's engagements. He'll be smart around it.
Yeah, I don't know that he's going to be given the ability to get those totems down too. Just Zen is kind of all over things. He's going to defend and take that Mega thanks to the turret.
Yeah, and Sirius already making a few mistakes there, just giving up Mega for a little bit of chip damage. Not a good trade whatsoever. It's to just refocus and play slow and simple again.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't feel great to do that, probably, especially for a player who probably isn't interested in necessarily playing that way, but you have to, right?
Yeah.
You have to be willing to kind of give up your own play style and play, against your opponent in that way. So it's unfortunate. There's some good rockets coming out, not doing a huge amount of damage, but keeping ZenAku at bay slows him down a little bit. 2 minutes in, and Zen just continues to lead by 1.
Stopwatch.
As much as Zen had the huge stack and lead, once again, you could see how cautious and aware he is of who he's playing against. He's just not wanting to get caught in any situations where he has to take these aim fights, because it's just not a good position for him to be in. So it's all about that adaptability from Zen once again.
Yeah, he's playing quite nice, using the turret to zone, keeping his spot. Mega's gonna be picked up. And I mean, the one thing that is still kind of remains decent here for Sirius is the major items are just too close for one person to control both of them. So, you know, we're going to see Sirius try to come in here and make something happen. Oh, but a huge rocket on the exit of the teleporter. His turret is down as well. That is going to allow him to get that heavy, but again, Sirius should get the mega, which he does. And that's the thing that Sirius just, he can't give that up. He cannot let ZenAku have both items.
No, but at the same time, the items being on the timings they are is actually in favor to ZenAku because he's the one that doesn't want to fight. He's the one that wants to play this plus stack game and have this stack in reserve. It's almost in Sirius's interest to try and split them and take a risk. I mean, it is only 1-1, so there's still a long way to go, and you can still play this slightly safer style. But it just means he's always going to have a fully stacked Zen to fight against as well.
Yeah. Nope, that's right. So continuing to control what he can. Another exit rocket almost. Where it comes out. Oh.
Is that the server? Is that us? I'm seeing that as well, right? Jittery?
What do you see?
I'm very jittery.
Buttery smooth Quake experience right now.
Oh yeah, it's just me again. I'm afraid.
No, it's not you. It's not you.
I know. I'm being sarcastic.
Is it me? Sec. All right.
You're looking for. Yeah, this is it's Quake Champions 2. Watching right now.
All right.
Oh well, we're back, I guess.
Clearly, one skin was just too much here for this game, so I might have to switch it up. The score unofficially when it closed was 0-2 in favor of ZenAku. We'll let you know exactly what's going to happen. If you just joined us, this is the second featured match, so this is the last game of the day. ZenAku took the first two games by 1 frag. Definitely worth watching if you want to go back and review that. Otherwise, we will see the conclusion here for Keep. Not sure what we just play out the 5 then, or
it should be 0-1. I'm thinking as well, right? Because I'm guessing Sirius died mid lag engagement, so I don't know how.
That would make sense.
Don't know what the admin's going to decide, but
all right. Well, we'll let you know as soon as we know. So, yeah, unfortunate. It does happen, but might actually be a blessing for Sirius. I don't know. We'll have to see.
I mean, the spawns on this map are a big deciding factor in sometimes the first frag or so, right? So if we were at a complete stalemate for 3 or 4 minutes before that frag, it could really change the dynamic for sure.
Yep, it could. We'll have to see. So we're recreating the match. 40 ran back. It's like, what the hell? No, you've still got a little bit of time.
40 and run. That's an image, yeah.
Wow. No chicken salad for you, my friend. Well, just a quick update on the chicken salad, by the way. We did do some research, and because 40 brought up a great point, which was like, wait a second. Do we know if this chicken salad has raisins in it? Definitely a fair question. But what we did find is that the venue where QuakeCon is at, they have a barbecue chicken salad. Now, unclear if this is the chicken salad that Razy was talking about, but don't worry. The QPL casters, who are also expert investigative journalists, will find these answers for you in August if you don't come to the finals yourself, which, you should. Think about it. So.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
Don't know if that's good or bad, but we'll be there.
I will sign any chicken salad container anyone wants to. With anything. Just put anything. Yeah. There you go.
It's going to be good. I think we're still...
The chicken salad or the event? I'm like, which...
I'm actually really looking forward to chicken salad now. I hope it's not a letdown. But I don't even care how many calories are in it.
We're going to build it up so much that... Sorry, we're getting instruction.
Are we? I can't hear.
Okay. The official word is that it is indeed 1-0 for ZenAku, and it'll be 6 minutes left to play. So, yeah, we're going to hype up this chicken salad so much. Like, it better be the world's best chicken salad.
Otherwise, we're blaming Razy.
Yeah. He might be this season's Quake champion, but he sure isn't a culinary genius. That's for sure. Right. We'll find out.
Man.
All right, we're going in 1-0 in favor of ZenAku, and then 6 minutes on the clock.
2, 1.
All right.
So, yep. The second frag absolutely started during the start.
Sirius gets LG spawn, so can this be deciding? Zen has no real hit scan beyond the machine gun at the moment.
Yeah, and it's not, and I think ZenAku, rightfully so, is gonna play this one with a little bit extra caution. I think Dan.
Yep, 100%.
Not gonna push it, and I don't think he should. Like 1-0 is still a very compromising position. So, but again, it keeps. We haven't. Not much has changed from game 3, right? Catching his opponent off, getting some initial damage in.
But Sirius has given up map control for no apparent reason. He could have controlled the LG and used it as a bit of a bait, but instead has given it up for free. So that's the type of thing he just needs to work on my pitch. And now he's taking this fight, and it's just not the fight. Well,
That
melted.
really wasn't. Yeah. And you know, I don't know if he had a full suite of options there, but it was kind of a good move there by ZenAku. There we're gonna have the heavy picked up yet again. That makes it's 2-0 in favor of ZenAku. Make that 3-0 now as the rocket to shoddy combo is effective.
Yeah.
Looks like he might run away with this one.
Feels like it now, yeah. And the Galena pick as well hasn't paid dividends, really. I don't think there's been a single overstack throughout. Not entirely sure it's been particularly useful, where it feels like the turret's been very impactful in delaying and blocking Sirius. So again, it's gone down there and just forces Sirius on the back foot, allows Zen to pick it up, and this is all she wrote with 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, I completely agree too. On totems versus turret. Turret's been huge, especially from a zoning perspective. At that top, even getting 1-2 hits is a pretty big deal. Especially considering ZenAku, I think, has been on point also with just his machine gun spam, making sure that anytime he can possibly get some damage dealt, he's getting that done. But Sirius is going to get a frag as he sees his opponent fly through that teleporter. There is still some time. There's about 3.5 minutes remaining. Still a 3-point game. It's currently 1-4. So let's see if Sirius, he wasn't really able to convert much of anything off that frag, but just stopping your opponent's momentum is important.
Just so much damage from the spam from Zen. That's something Sirius just has not been able to do because Zen just has not let him. And with the items, once again, on the same timing, more or less, it just gives Zen a fallback clause again.
Yeah, and once again, turret kind of being a problem here. It is interesting, like where Zen is at. He could almost stay in this back corner. He did put turret down, so doesn't have it up right now, but it just potentially use turret to zone a bit. I mean, Sirius is having to put a lot of effort into just trying to dispatch that turret and then get in any sort of favorable position as well. So, of course, he's also then able to stack his totems on one side if Zen's going to stay there. So, will that play out for him? We'll find out. Oh.
Just look at the damage again for the totem. All Zen had to do was plus back, let the totem do a little bit of work, and it's causing mayhem at the moment. Sirius is trying his darndest to push on in, but Zen's defensive play once again on show here.
There's some good damage. as Sirius now finds himself full stack. Quick dispatch of the turret coming around the back. It's hit in the face with a rocket. The LG is doing work, but it's not enough, and that is going to be it. GG's. And that final score is
5-1.
5-1.
4-1.
Yeah, I think 5-1. 5-1. So
yeah, 5-1.
I mean, still some close games. Let's bring 40 back and see what he's got to say.
Hi. Yeah, quite the ending to that series. Unfortunate. The first two maps really, really close. Third one, a bit of a cluster. First of all, Dan, I do run constantly from my problems. Second of all, Wheat, I ask great questions. But yeah, the series was great.
Elephants never forget.
It was a fantastic series, and I just want to say that seeing the kind of evolution of Sirius throughout the league, as Dan always refers to it, is still good. Like the way that he played Molten Falls for the first 8 minutes. Those last two pushes were a little crazy. Maybe not the first one, but definitely the second one. Dan, I kind of agree with you where it was just like it was maybe tilt or completely unnecessary. He was playing so patient, so measured, and he just kind of threw it all away and kind of defaulted to what we used to see Sirius do. But the fact that he was able to hang in there the first two maps, map 3 was a bit of a cluster, so whatever, we'll chalk that up to whatever it was. But the first two maps, really, really strong showing from Sirius, and I think he's evolved and grown so much throughout this league, and he's only going to get better and better, similar to how we saw Zen when he first entered the league. So I think iron sharpens iron. It was a really good set, but shouts to Zen for taking it in the end.
Yeah, it was, you know, those are close scores. But what I take away from this is that ZenAku, one of the things he's been doing is trying to play his game through and through from the first second the game starts all the way to the end of game 3, and that's what I saw. Right, there are many times where ZenAku had his back up against the wall, was not in the lead, but still played calm, cool, collected, his game, and it worked out for him.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously heard that Sirius was feeling a little bit under the weather today. Maybe that played a part, but
yeah,
there's definitely still elements of rawness to his game, as we saw. And what was really interesting to me is that he didn't really know how to unlock Zen's door, really. As soon as Zen went on the defensive, Sirius's attacks and pathing was quite predictable, which is why Zen was able to counter him, right? So we need to see a bit more creativity coming out. That's what Razy did so well when he started to pivot to become more of a mature player, is setting traps, being more creative, delaying items. We didn't see that level of depth to his game. The aim, the stability, the timing was all there, and it's getting a lot better. But now to take it to the next level is when you play against people like Zen who can adapt to you, who can play incredibly well on the defensive and won't fall into your traps and don't get flustered by being hit by 80% rail. What do you do next? And that will take Sirius in being a very good player to somebody who will then break into that top 6, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, it is a great point because playing against an opponent that'll shoot a 70% rail, that'll frustrate anyone. And that did not. I mean, I think about that first game on Deep Embrace where it was just like, can you not? Like, Sirius, every single shot Sirius was hitting or just coming so close that he could feel that burn. So it was good. Like I don't really waver from this. Like you could look at it as it's a series loss for Sirius, absolutely. But again, those two games were close, right? So we'll continue to kind of keep a close eye on Sirius to see how he performs in the latter half of the league play leading up to QuakeCon.
Totally agree. We're getting Zen on the line for an interview, so just hang in there, chat, configuring some things. But just real quick to kind of reintroduce the idea of this QuakeCon, this live event that we're finally going to have again after so many years. Wheat, you mentioned it before. It changes the dynamic of how you play because a lot of these players maybe haven't played on LAN, let alone in front of a live audience with the lights and the big stage, and it is completely different. It's not you in your house. It's not you in the AC controlled environment that you're used to playing in with the chair and everything. Everything is different. How that impacts them, we will see in 2-3 months, but they do have to start thinking that way, like Strong Sage specifically, right? Fantastic showing online, totally different ball game. in the arena with a live crowd under the big lights, I mean, that could definitely deter you from playing the game that you're used to playing. And so for the younger players in the league, they have to be worried for even some of the challengers that may be showing up for one of the first times. All of that stuff goes into play. The endurance also, depending on seeding and knowing, as Razy mentioned before, we talk about it all the time. He runs into lower bracket problems where he's playing best of 5, best of 7s. He has the disadvantage and he still makes it all the way through, but it's not easy. It's terrible. So you have to kind of condition yourself to be able to play longer days, longer games, get it all done. As we take a look at the world rankings, well, again, we're still trying to get Zen on the line, but I think that's a huge part of this and something that, I mean, obviously we're all looking forward to. We want the live event, but that is something for the players to get readjusted to.
Man, that's an exciting, like, just, you look at that top 8 right now, and that's pretty wild. And even, you know, gosh, even the bottom half I look at now, I'm just like, this is going to be, it's going to be a nutty into the weekly play and then going into it. And, you know, I got to say, you know, Strong Stage didn't seem to have much of a problem at the last finals, which at least was on LAN. Now, yeah, you're not adding in the other aspects like, you know, there being an audience, or just like the table's a little bit skinnier than you would like it to be, and all these things. So I don't know. We'll have to see, but everyone handles those things a little bit different. We've seen people completely crumble. We've seen people be like, what? This is not any different than me being in my room. Let's go.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, and then, you know, you have to keep in mind that once you put those eners out and you're packing up your stuff after a loss, you're going to hear Dan talk shit about you, about how you just played. So that could get in your head. Let's get Zen in here. I think he's ready on the line. ZenAku, congratulations. Welcome.
Thank you, mate. How you going, boys?
Congrats.
Good. Wheat, you want to kick it off again for us?
Yeah, sure. I can come up with something on the fly here. ZenAku, congratulations first and foremost. Great game. Now we've been talking a lot about how we've kind of hit that halfway point, right? And we're getting a little bit further, which means that a lot of players are setting their sights on QuakeCon, and it means you've almost got to prepare in a dual role. You've got to be continuing to prepare for your online games, but then you've also got to prepare for returning back, being on LAN, playing on stage, all these things. With QuakeCon coming back, is that part of it exciting to you, or are you looking at it like another challenge in terms of like, oh, I've got to make sure I'm back on top of my LAN play? Like, how are you thinking about that?
I think it's a bit of both. Of course, like, I mean, I think it's a two-factor thing. It's like, not only is it LAN, but it's also QuakeCon in terms of like, it's not just any LAN, it's QuakeCon, the one that people actually want to win. No, I think it's good. I'm just doing like my normal preparation, and I think, like you were saying, I think we're kind of starting to see that, you know, at the start everyone's kind of like, oh, what's going on, trying to find their feet, but now, you know, I mean, as we saw in that match, like, that was incredibly close, but I imagine if we had played that week 1, that definitely would have been what it was like today. So obviously people are kind of like stepping it up, and it's good. It's kind of giving, you know, me motivation to also, you know, play to that potential. So
Awesome.
Yeah, congrats, Zen. I want to ask you about this set in general, but I guess it's the way you approach anyone really. But I think one of your biggest strengths is adaptability and versatility in these sets, to see the way you mold yourself to your opponent in many ways. And going up against somebody like Sirius is definitely an element of you having to adjust a lot in the way in which you want to approach these types of games. So how is it that you, in general, adjust like that, but particularly against someone like Sirius, which, you know, first map he was hitting 80% for 6-7 minutes of that first of Deep Embrace, right? How do you actually then keep your cool and adjust and find the right solution for that kind of environment?
Well, I think first off, like, I think definitely, as people can see, like, I feel like myself mechanically, I'm not as strong, definitely not as strong as Sirius or some of these other players, so I have to kind of take a bit of a different approach where it comes to using the strategy. But I think, especially against Sirius, for me, was just playing the whole 10 minutes. Like, if things did go wrong, or if he's going to hit more shots than usual, I'm kind of just ready for that. But also in the preparation for this match, I've kind of like, I mean, I felt like my aim was shocking in some moments. I don't know how, like, a bit of jitter cam going on, but how can I say? Like, I did take steps to think about, okay, if he's going to set up in these ways, how am I going to do it? So it's more of preparing what he's going to play like, and then moments where he could mess up, which we saw, I think, a couple times throughout the series. Like the first map, he tried to set a trap, and then I think twice that it didn't work out. And then on the second map, he kind of like was baiting me to the items, but then at some point it kind of worked against him, and then there was that comeback. So I'm not like that 200 IQ. I didn't plan that far ahead, but it did kind of work out great. So yeah, it was good.
Nice, thank you.
Zen, congrats once again. I have 2 quick questions that Wheat is going to hate. One, would you officiate the official bench press contest between me and Dan? Would you do us the honor in Texas?
As the officiator, do I not get to participate or what?
Well, if you want, it's just between me and him. We could do a separate one, but this is between me and Dan. Think about it. You don't have to answer right now. And 2,
Okay.
Are we doing shoeies?
Are we doing shoeies?
Shoeies in Texas.
I think I want to say if I win, do I do a shoey? But then I like shoeys enough, so I'm just gonna do one anyway.
That's all I needed to hear.
By the way, if whoever does win, if you do not do a shoey, we're gonna have some trouble.
All right.
But anyway, yeah, shoeys all around.
Well, it's IRL this time, so we could bully them playfully. But Zen, congratulations. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Congrats, and we'll see you again, I'm sure, in the next coming weeks as we build our way to the finals.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Well, gentlemen, it's been a long day.
Longest cast of my career.
Yeah. Yeah. The restraining order's coming back, I'm sure. Any closing thoughts, arguments, complaints? Wheat, we'll start with you.
None. I think it's really excited to be on the back half of the sort of regular matches leading up to it. I even chat was saying, yeah, this is probably the wildest group of players that we have, with a lot of potential to swing either way. When you throw the QuakeCon variable into it, I think it's even more exciting. Definitely, you have to imagine that it probably favors some of our players that are used to going and have competed in a TwitchCon and know exactly what to expect. So thanks for joining us here on another Saturday, and thanks for having me, and can't wait for the next one.
Daniel, any thoughts? Any appropriate closing thoughts, anyway?
Appropriate.
Yeah.
I think the next time we get to Cast 40 is actually in Texas. So
Wow.
yeah.
I really need the soapbox so I can at least
Will
in
you
the
guys
shot
write
with
each
you.
other letters between now and then?
So here's my thing. I'm thinking that I ride on his back out to the stage. Well, we could talk about it, Dan, but you could lift me, no problem.
I don't know if my
Easy.
back can.
Yeah, that's true. I've been packing it on. Anyways, that's it for us, chat. Thank you very much for hanging in there. Shouts to PGL Bethesda for all the production, all the hard work. Shouts to the players for putting in the time, making the game so entertaining. Chat, appreciate you being here as always. It's always up in the air. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for dealing with all the technical difficulties. Take care of yourselves and one another. We'll see you next week for Week 12 of the Quake Pro League. But until then, we're out. Have a good one. Take care.
Peace.